We've, of course, been tracking here on this show how Governor Cuomo's media profile doesn't necessarily match up with the reality of his coronavirus response. Very much part of that story is the fact that his media appearances have overwhelmingly been on his brother Chris Cuomo's primetime CNN show, Nice to Have Friends in High Places. And there's some new reporting out just looking at those interviews and the type of questions that have been getting asked versus what has not been getting asked about Saagar.
So my friend Peter Hassan over at the Daily Caller, he tracked this, that, Chris Cuomo, while interviewing his brother, has yet to ask Andrew Cuomo about New York nursing home deaths. And he asked 9 ridiculous questions instead. And it's the course of those interviews. Of course, we have ProPublica and Daily Caller reporting showing that the New York governor administration order to allow long-term care facilities to accept coronavirus patients before then reversing course about 6 weeks later basically led to mass death in nursing homes. I mean, almost half of a coronavirus deaths in America today are happening in nursing homes. And actually, Daily Caller reporting also indicates that the state is knowingly undercounting nursing home deaths. That's according to some of their reporting. And we've seen ProPublica, who has done a lot of work on this front as well. And I mean, this is a scandal. Like the nursing home deaths that are happening across New York City, and it's not just New York, across America. Fox News has been doing some great reporting about veterans nursing home long-term care facilities and the deaths that are happening there. Every single official Republican Democrat deserves to be investigated. But these softball interviews from your own brother is just so egregious about the intersection of power and media in New York State and in New York City to show about how you can essentially get away with this, have an 81% approval rating in your own home state by your constituents after you doomed some of them to death with your incompetence.
And that the clubbiness and nepotism is just so incredibly out in the open.
It's terrible.
Is incredible here.
Right.
I mean, look, I don't want to be too harsh about have your brother on your show once, twice, okay, whatever. But you can't only basically do interviews there. At a certain point, you would actually think that the instinct would be to avoid going on that program, to avoid exactly the appearance of this type of conflict and this type of story coming out. And look, it's uncomfortable enough as a journalist to ask hard questions of public officials, knowing the dynamic of power. It's not an easy thing to do. It's your job. I don't feel bad for you, but it's not an easy thing to do. Add the familial relationship, and it just becomes completely absurd.
Right. And just to give people an idea, 4,800 people died from coronavirus in nursing homes in New York State from March 1st to May 1st, according to the governor's own office, and that 25% of deaths in the state all occurred in a nursing home. So you can see right there. And like I said, this is because of an order that Governor Cuomo made on March 25th that forced nursing homes to accept patients who tested positive for coronavirus, despite the fact that there were testing deficiencies for residents and staff. And it was not reversed until May 11th, almost a month and a half later.
Yeah.
In that interim period, literally thousands of people, elderly people, veterans, moms, dads, grandmothers, they all died.
Yeah.
And there needs to be accountability for that from the media.
And I've seen Chris Cuomo go hard at other public officials. If this wasn't his brother, I have a feeling this question
screams at everybody else except for his brother.
Yeah, this question would get asked if it didn't happen to be his brother who was on the receiving end of these complaints. And maybe the saddest part to me is that this has all worked. As you pointed to, he has one of the highest approval ratings in the entire country, in spite of the fact that, look, not everything is the governor's fault or the mayor's fault or the president's fault. Coronavirus is, in some respects, out of our control, and it has to do with bad luck and good luck in terms of how large scale of an outbreak there is. But New York had a horrible outbreak. And what ProPublica really, and I really encourage people, it's a lengthy piece, but I really encourage people to read it. We're going to do some more reporting and talk to David Sirota about it later in this week. But it really details the mistakes that were made that cost people their lives. So you don't deserve glowing coverage in softball interviews. If there's ever been a time for impartial accountability and adversarial journalism, it's right now. And I don't know why, I don't think anyone should have an expectation that that's going to come from the guy's brother.
Yeah, exactly. No, and look, it's a legitimate story to talk about stockpiles, ventilators, all the other things that CNN and Chris Cuomo and everybody covered on the Trump administration side. But when it's one of their own literal brother, and also one of their own party, they refuse to do it. And it just goes to show you the glaringness and the impact that can have in terms of media coverage on public opinion. This is just a perfect case study in how it all works together.
Indeed.
All right. Tomorrow on Rising, former Sanders National Campaign co-chair Nina Turner, she's going to join us. Always excited for that one.
And Professor Adolph Reed Jr. is going to share his insights as well. Looking forward to that too. Please give this video a thumbs up along with sharing and, of course, subscribing. Also, send in your hashtag Rising Qs. Always love to hear from you guys. Have a fantastic day.
See you guys.